A Valley man says he returned his rental car in the same condition as when he picked it up.
And then just a few weeks later, apparently he got a bill saying that he returned the vehicle damaged, and now he's got to pay for it. So he contacted 3 on Your Side's Gary Harper for help.
The damage we're talking about is pretty significant. In fact, it's right around $2,700. But this viewer says he doesn't even know what the car rental company is talking about and says he shouldn't have to pay anything. Steve Gaffney says he couldn't survive without a vehicle. So you can imagine his frustration when he was attempting to turn into this Costco parking lot recently and wound up getting hit by another driver.
It was totaled. I mean, the cop who was there said pretty much, it's totaled. And I could tell because the drivetrain was laying on the ground.
Steve snapped some pictures of his wrecked truck and eventually learned later that it was in fact a total loss. As a result, Steve's insurance company made arrangements for him to rent a truck from Enterprise Rent-A-Car while he looked for a new vehicle to buy. Here he says he rented a pickup truck and drove it for nearly 3 weeks before finally returning it. This is the Enterprise where Steve says he returned that truck that he had rented. When he was here, he says an employee went around the truck, inspected it, even turned on the ignition to check the mileage. Steve says that Enterprise employee then told him the truck looked great and he could go. Steve says a little more than 2 weeks went by, and that's when he received an unexpected notice in the mail from Enterprise. The notice said the truck Steve returned had extensive damage to the undercarriage. How much damage? $2,700 worth. But Enterprise says it would make things easy for Steve. The rental company says they could charge his credit card that they had on file, or they could ask his insurance company to cut them a check. Steve says he was dumbfounded. What did you do to the car, Steve?
I actually did absolutely nothing to it. It was as good a shape, like I said, as
when you checked it out.
Yeah.
Enterprise also sent Steve 4 very grainy photographs that reportedly shows the damage, but it's kind of difficult to make out. Regardless, if there was damage, Steve says it certainly didn't occur on his watch.
Stayed on city streets just like I did with my other truck and have been doing, pretty much for, did not take any trips up north, anything like that. Did not.
You didn't drive crazy?
No.
So 3 on Your Side got involved and we asked Enterprise to look into the issue. They did and decided they will no longer pursue Steve or his insurance company for that $2,700 after all. In an email to 3 on Your Side, an Enterprise spokesperson writes, "Sometimes damage is not readily observable during the return process and only discovered when the vehicle is driven or later inspected. In such instances, a customer is personally called to discuss how the damage might have occurred as soon as possible. Unfortunately, this initial step was missed in this case." They went on to say that they are closing this claim because our notification procedures were not followed. Steve says he sure is glad he's not responsible for damage he didn't cause and says it only happened with the help of 3 on Your Side.
I think it's great for Phoenix and for Arizona to have 3 on Your Side, basically. I mean, that's what I feel like. I had the support of the station, so very pleased.
Hey, a big thank you to Enterprise for looking into this matter at my request and waiving that $2,700 claim. By the way, Steve says if he has to rent a car in the future, he'll be using another company. I'm Gary Harper, 3 on Your Side.